talk to a stranger about something that is troubling me on an emotional level, I guess I don't know how open I will be if I'm not a counselor. Now that I am one, I think it teaches me to be open. But people are scared. There's a big fear of being judged, and there's a big fear that the person is going to be biased and form an opinion. As human beings, we are really scared of what the other person thinks about us. So we are always constantly looking for approval, for love, for acceptance, and we want it from everybody, especially our family. And family se to nahi mile ya mile, but bahar wale mere bare mein kya soch raha hai, that is very important. So I guess that is the reason. In the moment when we say counseling ke liye le jao, we immediately think, oh mera bacha pagal thodi hai ya main pagal. So we associate that word of counseling with seeking help to being mad or being retarded, which is very different.
Right. So I'll tell you what's the thing I'm looking for as an outcome out of this chat today is that people look at it like it's normal. When you're unwell, you go and meet a doctor, right? When you have a tummy ache or you have a headache or you have fever, you go and meet a doctor and it's normal. So people relate to emotional counseling also as it's normal. So that's really what I'm looking at. Yeah.
Sure. Very rightly you said, Robin. But the thing is that when somebody is going through an emotional distress, it's somewhere when you said if you have a tummy ache or if you have a headache, then you have a physical symptom which you're going and telling a doctor that this is what is happening to me. But when which is, it's socially acceptable. That is why it's okay to go and see a doctor. But the moment you're going to see a counselor, you kind of even, people start viewing you with that something really terribly wrong with your head. And unfortunately, these distress symptoms are such that they are all happening inside. It's not something which someone can see. And people say, "ये तो ठीक है, खा रहा है, पी रहा है, कर रहा है, इसको क्या problem है?" So that judgment immediately comes in, and that is what puts us back. That even if I go to a counselor, I'm going to be very hushed about it.
That's exactly what I said. What I'm looking for is an outcome that after people listen to this, see this, whoever is on the video will see it, and then we'll put it up on Facebook and YouTube as well as on LinkedIn, that people who watch this relate to it like it's normal, it's okay.
I hope so.
Yeah?
I hope so.
So that's really so the first question that I have now formally is, what is emotional counseling and why does one need it?
Okay, so see, we are all human beings, Robin, and we are driven by our emotions primarily. And emotions are what actually connect to our thoughts, and then our behavior. So, it is a driving force, and we all go through our emotions, hundreds of emotions throughout the day. But whenever we feel any of these emotions are being enhanced and are not working in our favor and not helping the situation, then at that time the person undergoes some kind of distress, because of which he or she may not be able to understand how to handle the situation, how to manage it, how to deal with that emotion or with that discomfort that they are feeling. And that is when a counselor can help or facilitate a person to kind of be aware, understand what feelings he or she is feeling, and try and look for an alternative way of dealing with that situation. So basically, it's a facilitation process, and it's like a hand-holding process throughout. But a counselor will not be your crutch. A counselor will enable you or empower you to walk that journey, but be there with you with that in that journey. And coming to the why part, it's because we all of us have our friends, family, somebody close whom we can pick up the phone and talk to, that what, this is happening to me, I'm not able to do this. But at times, like I said at the beginning, there's a fear of judgment. And suppose if I need to talk to a friend something personal, something that I'm going through,
Okay.
I may not be comfortable. Is going to be non-judgmental, and who's not going to have any biases. And I also want a place, or provide a space for which is safe for the person to vent out. And that helps the person believe that he or she is not alone in this journey. And sometimes even just speaking it out. Sometimes we're not looking for resolution. Just talking to somebody helps.
Okay. So what was the reason for you to take up emotional counseling? You were a HR person doing very well. Why did you change tracks?
Okay. So, like I said, human beings have lots of emotions and we are driven by them, which come out in our actions and our behavior. And, I've had my share of personal experiences, which when I was going through them, I felt that, oh, I've gotten out of them untouched, but there is nothing untouched about any impact. It's like a steel, we have a steel utensil in which we boil milk. Although it's sturdy and it's fine, every time it falls it doesn't break, but there is a dent, right? And if you keep don't if it keeps falling and it keeps denting, there'll come a time when you will really have to throw away that vessel. So similarly with your life, when you're going through any of these experiences, it does have an impact physically, mentally, emotionally. And that's why it's important that to understand that it comes out in some part of my life. It did come out in some part of my life, and that's when I thought that I had hit my rock bottom. And I decided to take help, and I did reach out to a counselor very hesitantly because I had my own biases about the process. But when I didn't have anywhere to go, I did reach out, I did take help. And once I felt help, that's when it was like a life changing situation for me, where I felt that this is what I want to do for the rest of.
I like the analogy of the steel vessel and it falling and denting till the time you have to throw it out. Interesting, very interesting. Thank you, Simi. Okay, Simi, the next one is how has it helped you evolve as a person, professionally, personally?
Yeah. So, Robin, like I said, the counseling process basically it's like an inward process. It's an exploration within yourself and trying to understand and sort out what it is that you are feeling and how you're going to manage all those things. So when you do that, you start looking at yourself from a different perspective. So I have learned to be more compassionate towards myself, be more self-accepting. I accept my flaws more than I accept my strengths now, which wasn't the case. It has also made me extremely humble, because I feel it's a humbling experience when somebody puts that trust in you and comes and opens their hearts out without any fear of being judged, and everything is confidential. So and it also has made me feel very, very I mean, there's a lot of gratification that I get from this kind of work. So I feel that besides increasing my heightened sense of empathy that I have now, I feel I'm more in control now of my emotions, and I'm able to make better life choices for myself. And when I feel that empowerment, I'm able to transcend it to the client.
So, are you happy with the way you have evolved?
Very.
And
People around me are happier too, I think.
people around you are happier too. I think that's more important. The people around you are
Not
happier.
really. I think my happiness is more important, but yeah, as a byproduct, people are happier too.
Yeah, it's okay to have a self interest.
Of course, always.
Yeah, sure, sure. So, what are the conditions or circumstances when one should speak to a counselor?
Okay, so it's a good question, Robin. So, whenever people feel that they are going through an emotional distress, and you're feeling a heightened sense. Now, I'm not saying a normal, like we go through emotions every day. We go feel sad, happy, low, angry, all these feelings, irritation throughout the day. But whenever
Yeah.
there is a heightened sense for prolonged periods, like if you're feeling enhanced anger, enhanced sadness, you're feeling very helpless, you're not feeling worthy of yourself, very hopeless, like especially the current situation that is happening around us. There's a lot of hopelessness and there's a lot of uncertainty about the future and what am I going to do and all those things. But if you're able to bounce back, it's fine. But some people are not able to bounce back into the normal cells, and they're not able to carry on normal functionalities of their day-to-day routine. That is a red flag. Also, if it is having a strain on your relationships, on your very close relationships with matter to you, Also your work relationships, anywhere where it is coming in between your interpersonal relationships, that's another flag to look out for. If you've lost a loved one, if there is a death in the family, or even if there's generalized loss, like currently I'm feeling everyone around, all of us are feeling a big loss, whether it's a loss of monetary funds, or whether it's a loss of time, loss of freedom, loss of in enjoying yourself, all those things. So we're all facing this loss, but if it's going to just bug us and keep us down there, again, it's time to speak to somebody about it. And then there are a lot of traumatic experiences. If somebody's going through any kind of trauma, then that's a big that's a big yes to go and speaking to somebody about it. And then when there are significant changes in your expression of your emotions, like if you've always been getting angry, but now suddenly you're flaring up so much that it's going out of control, or you're crying so much that you're not able to come back, and people around you start noticing your behavior and telling you, okay, look, you know what, I think there's something wrong, or why don't you look into it? So these are all small flags that we need to look at, and that's when you need to reach out for help.
So when you say prolonged period, what's the kind of period you look at? Is it a week, 2 weeks, a month? What would that be?
Robin, see, we can't see, like I said, everything is happening inside. So if I am a kind of a person who every day will go for my walks for an hour, and I will do my ghar ka kaam, and I'll do everything in a routine. Okay, one day maybe I don't feel like doing it, or maybe 2 days I don't feel like. It's a person to person basis. So if I'm okay with those 2 days not doing it, but if on the third day I start beating myself down and saying, oh my god, why didn't I do it, why did I do it, and start going into the hole even further, so that is when I need to really take charge of myself, and at least try and seek help from somewhere. And also, Robin, I forgot one important point for seeking out help was, even if there is increased hunger, or if you start uncontrollably drinking a lot, there is substance abuse. आजकल बहुत देखने को मिल रहा है कि people are
Yes.
dating, people are turning to, maybe they have an occasional drink, but now people are drinking more regularly, or they take drinking in excess amounts. There's a lot of binge eating. So those are also flags which you need to look at. Anything out of your normal behavior, anything that you've generally been doing and doing more of it, more of sleeping, more of eating, more of even exercising, like doing so much of it that you're so fatigued to not, and it is impacting your other functionalities, that is like a red flag.
Okay. All right. Good. So moving on. Uh, so when you counsel somebody, what are the goals of counseling?
Okay, so like I said, it is a facilitation process, right?
Yeah.
And since it is impacting your behavior, the change that we want to see is that there is a behavioral change in the person. So we work backwards, we work through their emotions and try to see how that is impacting their behavior, because the original emotion that they are facing and or expressing is impacting in a certain way. So we work backwards and work with the emotions so that there is a significant behavioral change. Also, like I said, it causes a strain in relationships, and the person is not able to maintain and establish good relationships. So that is one of the goals, that that is being maintained, that is being established, and allowing or facilitating the client to reach their full potential given the circumstances, be able to do whatever it is that they want to do within their purview. So if, for example, if a person says, you know what, I want to run a 5 kilometer race, and this person has never even walked in a day, right? So getting that person to that goal.
Okay, everybody, please go. Everyone else who's not speaking, go on mute. I request others to please go on mute. There's somebody speaking in the background. Thank you. Yes, Sivi, please go ahead.
Yeah, so the example I was giving is, if somebody wants to do a 5 kilometer run and he has never walked even a single kilometer in a day, slowly build up and facilitate and try and see how he can reach there. So given each other, everybody's potential, help facilitate the client to go into their emotions, work them out, manage them, and look for alternative options.
So do you sometimes get people like that who say that I just want to start walking, and you help them do that? Because to
Not
me, I'm trying to make that connect, or was that just like an example that you gave?
that was an example,
Ah,
not per
okay.
se. I get people with exams, people not able to clear
Ah,
competitive
yes,
exams
yes.
and done number of times and failed, and now they want to, so then help them plan and help them break it down and help them see how these small bits can lead to the bigger picture. And even if you want that bigger picture, so if I use the analogy of 5 kilometers, do you even want to run 5 kilometers? What does that mean for you? What is it going to do to you? And if not that, then what? Like, okay, so these are the kind of processes that we follow in this.
So you talked about exams and entrance tests. I suddenly realized I've been born 50 years too early. Didn't have somebody knock some sense then. Okay, all right. So, what are the benefits of counseling when somebody comes to you?
So, like I talked about my experience,
Yes,
so that a very high sense of self acceptance. You start, accepting yourself as you are, right? And because we are always been conditioned to not look at yourself and keep looking at others for
yes,
gratification, and that
yes,
is
yes.
how we learn and grow up and stop looking at ourselves altogether. And that is why this feeling of being lost, not knowing who you are, not knowing what is your self-worth, and all those doubts and questions come into our mind every from time to time when you are in a hole, right? So there is increased self acceptance, which leads to increased self-esteem, right? You start feeling good about yourself, because only when you feel good about yourself will you be able to make someone else happy, or make the other person feel good, right? I mean, we can't make people happy, but they can be happy looking at us that, okay, this person knows what she's doing, right? And there is again like an improved interpersonal communication, like the relationships start looking better. Even the relationship with yourself is better. So when once you establish that relationship with yourself, immediately it transcends into your external. So it's always internal to external. And one starts expressing their emotions more effectively. So if a person is used to getting angry and retorting in a very angry way, and realizes that it is not working for him, it's only straining that relationship even more. And then the person starts expressing, and most of the times, in anger, people say, वो मेरी सुनती नहीं है. वो इसलिए नहीं सुन रही है क्योंकि आप उसको बता नहीं रहे हो कि आपको क्या हो रहा है. So the moment you start expressing, okay, look, this is what is happening, so that you learn a better way of expressing and communicating, so that the other person is able to listen. And सुने नहीं सुने वो उसकी बात है, but at least you've communicated your bit, right? And once you have a clear head, once you've sorted everything in your head, and you have a clear head, you are in control of you're not going to let your emotions run you. You are going to use your emotions effectively. Then your decisions, you make a decision making capacity, and you start making healthier life choices and better options you start choosing for yourself. So all in all, these are the goals that we look for, where the person is maybe, if I see on a scale, if the person has come to me at a level -1, and when the, like, emotionally I'm talking about, and when we go through the process and the person says, okay, now on a scale of 1 to 10, if I'm feeling a 6 or a 7, it's fine. At least there is progress. That person has come from some point and only moved up, so there is progress. And it is a continuous process. You will have to keep working on yourself. It's not that the sessions are never going to go forever, but you have to work on yourself forever, and you have to keep reminding yourself of these lessons that you have learned for yourself, which are working for you.
So, Simi, listening to what you said, do people become dependent on the counselor, or do you make them independent?
Like I said in the beginning, Robin, that a counselor will never be a crutch. Okay, so it's like, if suppose a client, suppose, okay, I'm going to use an analogy here for better explanation. So suppose I have broken my leg, okay, and the doctor has told me कि plaster लगेगा, and if you want to move around, you need to use crutches, right?
Yes.
Now those crutches I'm not going to use forever. At some point, after my plaster is off and I've done physiotherapy and I've kind of, but I'm now getting, but now I'm used to using these crutches. But
Yes.
now the doctor is going to tell me, ab isko hataiye and now
Yes.
start, working that muscle of yours so that that
Mm.
leg becomes strong to start walking on your own. So that is similar to the counseling process, that we don't see, I am not a shoulder to unburden you. But I am there with you. If you are, see, it's your journey. If you are going to fall in the hole, you have to come out of it. I can help you see what are the various ways, which again you decide. So how you are going to come out of it. And at one point, yes, there is a lot of, sometimes there is interdependency happens, but then that means your counseling is not working then. Because then it is not counseling anymore. It becomes like a chit chat, or it becomes like a friend kind of a thing. But that doesn't work. So generally, even as counselors, we never counsel our people we know or people who are our friends, because there could be some kind of transcending emotions, or there could be some
Yes.
kind of some kind of expectation which we will not be able to meet at any point of time. It's like a doctor will never operate on his own child, right? So similarly, it's the same
Mm.
thing.
Simi, could you share 3 or 4 examples? You don't have to tell names of people or anything about why they came for counseling and what was the difference you saw once the whole course got completed.
So Robin, instances to ऐसे मतलब specifically I can't, like, like if I on the top of my head, if I have to say that there are people that come with me with various problems. Like I said, talked about a person coming to me with an IAS problem. He was giving his exams multiple times and he didn't pass, and then it was his final attempt. Like there's an age limit to it, and it
Yes,
was his final year when he could only give it now, and then if he doesn't give it, then it's end of it. And
it's gone.
you know yeah, and he had grown up, I mean, he had like done his entire educational career based on that he's going to be an IAS officer, right? So then there was a lot of anxiety, and then he had a lot of issues of not being able to focus because the fear of failing and doing all those things. But then when he came, then there was this whole journey that we went through together, and eventually, again, there's a lot of goal setting that happens. That, do you want to do this? Why do you want to do this? What does this mean to you? How is it? And if not this, then what is your other option that you have? So counseling is basically allowing the person to see कि अगर option A नहीं है तो we see what are the best options that I have, and how I can now utilize this to move forward.
Okay.
And another, I have
Anyone come to you because now during these COVID times and lockdown, I have been watching the news and there's a lot of reports about domestic abuse happening and that it has increased. So do you get those kind of people also?
see, right now, people are reaching out, are not reaching out as much because, again, everybody does not have that space or that infrastructural freedom to
Yes.
speak to a counselor.
Yes.
So, but post COVID, I'm expecting that a lot of people, there's going to be a huge influx of people are seeking out help, because every day, I'm reading reports on domestic violence, abuses happening, because everybody's in close proximity, locked down, already feeling a sense of being tied down and kind of not being free. So all these frustrations are coming out, and I think once the lockdown opens and everybody is safe to move around and everything, or even phones, even the government helplines are available for people to do telephonic counseling.
Mm.
So all those are going to be very much in demand.
Mm. The other question that I have is how does one find a good counselor? There are many of them. How do you know whom to go to?
So, Robin, we are all technologically equipped. That's why we are on Zoom today. Everyone is available on Google. If you Google for a counselor in your vicinity around you.
Yes.
When you can like look for someone, or you can go through references if you know somebody who's seen one, and they can refer somebody. Sometimes there are people who come from out of town and they don't know anybody, so at that time, like Google of course comes to everybody's rescue. But also, some people can ask some doctors, like there are psychiatrists who can refer good counselors and do all that. So now, it is up to each one's own comfortability how to which counselor they want to go to, because there are a lot of institutions that offer free and confidential services, and some private counselors offer their services are paid. So depending on your capacity to pay, accessibility and your comfortability, you can make a choice on which counselor you want to go to.
Yeah, because I'm really looking at, since if somebody wants to go, you have everything on the net available, like a directory, but really deciding whom to go to is the
Yes,
question.
yes, but mostly, see, nowadays, if people are up on Practo, or people are up on a different number of ads, there are a lot of ratings happening, there's review there. And see, I'm not saying that all counselors are very good or very bad. I can't make that judgment, right? But if suppose you come to me and you start talking about a problem and you don't feel help, you feel that, okay, this is
Hmm.
not working for me, you have a choice of moving out of it. So
Sure.
that is the choice that a client always has to move out of that, that whatever arrangement, and say, okay, this is not working for me, I'm going to look for another counselor. It's
Hmm.
like going to a doctor, no? If you go to a
Sure.
if you go to a heart doctor and he says after me stent lugging, then you will want a second
Absolutely.
opinion and
Absolutely.
go and ask. So again I said, and because it's something very personal and very deep and very emotional, you do want to make sure that you find the right person.
Hmm. Okay, Simi. So I think I am done with the questions, but if anybody in the audience wants to ask a question to Simi, please unmute yourself and ask the question. It's okay to ask. Yeah, yeah, go ahead. Was that Kavita?
Yeah, Kavita.
Kavita, go ahead.
Yeah, so I just wanted to share my experience, which might help others.
Yes.
Around 6-7 years back or so, when my kids were in teenagers, I was going through an irritable phase where, kids, teenagers, most of us can resonate with it. I couldn't handle what was happening. I was forever fighting with them, and so I was talking. Simi was a good friend, so she said, "Why don't you see this counselor?" I just jumped at it because there's some background in mental background with my mother, so I was okay with going and went. Didn't know anything, but it was a journey just that turned my life from here to complete 180 degrees. It helped me to show, starting as Simi said, to show compassion towards myself, to understand how I was an issue, not necessarily this outside system. And the moment I started to see, not with a blame or a guilt or anything, but with compassion, it was like as if a light was shown in those dark parts of me, where I could just see it and accept it as it is. So when that happened, there was love just blossomed within me for myself, and that just started to spread, not just in my home with my kids, with my relationship, but because that energy of constant stress around that is released. Professionally, I could completely focus and went into a really good tangent. And to say that, after 3 months, my counselor said, I asked her, what should I do now, like, how will I cope? She said, you will find places where to do this. And I exactly found, and I'm in a place where now I'm offering these I'm not in a counselor, but like in my yoga space, I'm finding that it's a journey for my own self that these people guided. I really, really changed my life completely. You can, and since then, anybody I see, I immediately put them into Simi or whoever that. And the thing of not, there's just one point I wanted to bring about when Simi talked about other counselors. These people they chuck you out after a few months or what, when they feel you're ready. It depends on, I guess, each person to person. They don't continue to keep you because, you know, of that tends to happen generally with I'm not saying everybody, but most of the counselors or whatever, that tends to happen. But these are very honestly saying, okay, now you're ready, now go and face. So they just empower us, not advise or not you know, try to, you know, it's more like a friend at the same time who can empower us to look within. And it's worth, I would say, for any individual, not just people who are going through very bad stress or something. This kind of space is very, very valuable, I feel, to have that.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Kavita. Thank you so much. Okay. I don't know whether anybody else wants to ask a question. Otherwise, we can close.
Okay, so in the end, Robin, I would just like to summarize saying that, this that it's okay to not feel okay. Yeah, because given the circumstances, given the situation, I don't see there's a single human being on earth who is not affected by the situation that we are all going about. Uh, and if you're not feeling okay, it's okay to ask for help. And help is just a phone call away. You just need to reach out to somebody. You just need to go, look for someone. And I'm sure you will connect with somebody who will be able to help you. Thank you. And
So
thanks, Robin.
wonderful, Simi. Thank you so much for your valuable time, and thank you everybody who's on the call. I know it's a morning, it's a work day. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Bye, 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 everyone.
Thank you. Bye.